little past 9:15 Eastern Time as Newsmax TV's special election coverage, America Votes 2016, continues. We invite you to join us now with your own insights, analysis, and questions, and also to go to newsmaxpolls.com. Let us know who you voted for. But if you want to talk with us, you can call us at 1-877-NEWSMAX. That's 1-877-639-7629. Now let's recap where we are in terms of results. New York, the Empire State, in the victory column for Hillary Rodham Clinton, among the states that have just closed their polls. Now, in the column for Donald Trump, Texas, Kansas, Nebraska, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Wyoming. Mr. Trump currently leads in the electoral vote tally 139 to 97. Against that backdrop, let's welcome in our roundtable, if you will. Joining me here at the National Anchor Desk, Miranda Kahn, Ed Berliner. From Newsmax New York, our pal Steve Malzberg is still with us, and via Skype from Holland, Michigan, former chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, my old colleague there on Capitol Hill, Pete Hoekstra. So Pete, these Florida numbers are looking pretty good. It is a wild night. Your assessment of where we stand right now?
Well, the prospects for Donald Trump have improved significantly in the last 60 minutes. Seeing what's happening in Florida, seeing what's happening in Virginia. I think Virginia is still going to be tough. North Carolina is going directionally where we want to go. But sitting here in Michigan, JD, having been at the rallies for Donald Trump in Southeast Michigan on Sunday night, Grand Rapids last night, talking to my friends here in Michigan, the exit polls in Michigan, dead heat, 48-48. This may be the epicenter of the 2016 presidential election. I'm sitting right in the state that may decide it.
And Pete, you told us early tonight you felt the vibe there, but still it remains close. Miranda, for the record, you've kept those lovely nails. You have not bitten them down to the quick yet.
Ed, though, on the other hand.
Nails are always bad. What are you kidding? This is one of the few people at this network who does manual labor, so stop right there, okay? Actually go out and work in the yard.
Okay, well, in addition to those domestic chores, Ed, domestically around the country, what's been the biggest surprise for you tonight?
Two things I think that immediately speak. There really haven't been any surprises thus far, to be very honest. I mean, the shock that Florida is coming down to really two counties at this point, Palm Beach County and Broward County, are two things that I think are amazing at this point. If you look at the Florida map, you can see where it is. The Orlando, Dade, Broward, Tampa, St. Pete, in that area, the areas of the major city areas are the ones going for Hillary Clinton. The outlying areas are going for Donald Trump. But I think what we're seeing here tonight, JD, is that if you were to talk to the Democratic leadership in a quiet moment, they right now would be sitting in a room somewhere going, we are so eminently beatable because we picked the wrong one. I mean, quite frankly, she is beatable. We tried as hard as we could, but with all her flaws, Donald Trump, a tremendous amount of flaws that he carries with him every single day, but she is so eminently beatable, and we really got the wrong person here to win this year. If indeed what we see happens here, but it's still a lot closer than we thought it would be.
Well, it is, but this brings me to Miranda and the situation Ed put forth for us in terms of Hillary.
I'm the only one that was brave enough to say that I thought Clinton might edge it out just slightly.
Well, it's still not over.
That's an endorsement.
It's still not over, but the situation for Hillary,
yes.
Do you think the Democrat leadership would have been more comfortable with a non-Democrat, self-avowed socialist Bernie Sanders now in retrospect? He may have been further left, but I guess they say he's honest.
I don't want to say that they'd be more comfortable with Bernie Sanders because I think he was still way too far to the left for a lot of Democrats. But clearly, there are a lot of what you were saying, a lot of lifelong Democrats that, frankly, we know this is no big shock, don't like Hillary. Don't trust Hillary. This is not just Republicans saying this at all.
They're thinking to themselves, if only we could have got Joe Biden to run at this point.
A lot of them, I think, I agree. A lot of people see Clinton as part of the elitists. They really do.
But of course, Joe was biding his time, waiting for that State Department appointment to become Secretary of State.
I think also the death of his son was a big part of it, too.
Yeah.
I was not trying to be flippant about that.
Understood.
I was discussing the job that he's looking at. So we're on the record.
Guys,
Steve, go ahead, Steve.
I mean, we're talking about this like Joe Biden had a choice, like Bernie Sanders had a choice. My God, we have the head of the DNC giving questions to the Hillary campaign. We know it, and nobody cares about it. The fix was in. There was no way it was going to be anybody but Hillary. Joe Biden's top aide, according to WikiLeaks and the revelations, was in on convincing Biden to get the heck out of the race, and now works for Hillary. This is a joke. It would have been this one, would have been that one. It couldn't have been anybody but Hillary. The Clinton machine made sure of it.
And that's a powerful reminder, Steve, and a reminder to you watching at home, 1-877-NEWSMAX, 1-877-639-7629 is the number to call. Pete, you'll get a kick out of this because our first call is from Lufkin, Michigan. It's Lillian on the line. Lillian, welcome to Newsmax TV.
Hi.
How do you see it tonight, Lillian?
Well, my husband and I we're committed Christians, and have been diligently praying for Mr. Trump. We've been volunteering with the Trump campaign since, I believe, August, and we both voted Trump. We were at the polls right at 7 o'clock, and we both voted for Mr. Trump.
And as you're bringing us that information, Lillian, I'm just kind of curious, what are your friends and neighbors telling you there? I know Pete Hoekstra has been working hard for Mr. Trump, too, in Michigan. How do you think it's going to go tonight? Will Mr. Trump break through in your home state of Michigan, Lillian? We may have lost Lillian. She may have had some more people to call up there. Let me turn to Pete Hoekstra. Lillian's call bears out what you were talking about, Pete.
It really does. And, you know, Michigan's going to be a lot like Florida. Outstate Michigan's going to go solidly for Trump. The Macomb Democrats, that's just northeast of Detroit, they're going to go for big time for Mr. Trump. In Detroit, remember, this is a city that used to have a lot more clout. It had 1.7 million people, 20 years ago. Now it has 750,000. So even if it goes big time for Hillary Clinton, it doesn't have the leverage anymore to overcome what's happening outstate. I think this Trump was right. He visited the state 8 times since the convention. I think it was a good investment.
We have got some new numbers here. Miranda, listen to this.
Okay.
Ohio, Trump 52%, Hillary Clinton 44%. Actually, a little different from this report. More precincts have come in. 52-44, but you round it like that.
Though. We expected Trump to take Ohio.
But let's stop and think about that for a second, Ed, because the Ohio non-surprise is surprising to this extent. Governor John Kasich, who won that state as a favorite son, who steadfastly stayed out of this despite entreaties from Pete Hoekstra and others to come on, John, get on the Trump train. Here is Trump winning big in the Buckeye State, it would appear at this point.
Think about this, too. John Kasich has already said that 2 days after the election, he is going to hold a press conference, and he is going to discuss his vision of the future of the Republican Party and what it will be. Regardless of who wins, John Kasich has already made his bed. He's got to live in it now. He's looking ahead to 2020, and he believes that he's the guy who can then take over if Donald Trump fails in his first 4 years. That's what John Kasich believes.
One of the most insignificant Republicans in the country on a national level is John Kasich, who won nothing during the primaries. Or did he win his own state?
He won his home state of Ohio. Let's turn.
My God, he's so full of himself. He really should just go away and be a governor. Nationally, he's done.
You know, Pete Hoekstra, the tragedy is we served with John. He was an effective budget committee chairman. He's been a good governor of Ohio, but it's worse than reticence. This hostility toward Trump really looks to be hurting him. 45 seconds, Pete, for the last word.
He's been a great chairman of the budget committee. He led the fight to balance the budget. He's been a great governor. He would be a wonderful asset to Team Trump to get this country moving forward. He still has the opportunity to do it once Donald Trump gets to be elected as president.
All right. Well, we want to continue to invite you to call us at 1-877-NEWSMAX. That's 1-877-639-7629. And remember, not only do we want to hear your wonderful voices, we wouldn't mind if you'd share with us for whom you voted. And the way to do that, kind of like voting again, but not in a real sense, just illustrative, you go to newsmaxpolls.com. There on your computer, you can let us know for whom you voted. The simple question, who did you vote for? newsmaxpolls.com. Ed and Miranda stay right here. Brother Hoekstra remains. I don't know if Brother Malsberg's going to run out for a cup of coffee or not, but we are happy to have everybody back. We want you to come back as well. Newsmax TV's coverage of America Votes 2016 continues here, and we continue to monitor these swing states. Colorado dead even at 46% apiece for Trump and Clinton. Stay with us.